the place for comic book and anime reviews.
Hey there you guys, welcome back to Brandon Campbell 12 YouTube channel. Here are your comic book and anime reviews. And you guys my review for Captain America issue number 1, also known as issue 705 because we're still doing legacy numbering here. So I got this cover right here. This the variant cover for this, one of the variant covers for this. There were many variant covers. What I got off this one I thought best would fit what the story was going to probably more likely be, just knowing Coates. And I thought it really worked well. And really, this is a book that really asks a lot of interesting questions. It's a great cover for that. It's a very like, you got the yin and yang in here. You got like a man who is saluting his country and a man at the bottom who has a gun to his head. So it's a very, very polarizing cover. So let's pull this out and let's take a look at what's inside of it. Neil Francis Yu's art is just, it's amazing. Let me just see a panel right here that really gives you a feel like, look at this style right here. It's a gorgeous rendering of Neil Francis Yu's art, and it just looks amazing. It really does. It's an amazing artwork. So the story here, this series takes place after the events of Secret Empire. This is really a story that's dealing with what happened in Secret Empire in a really massive way. Mark Waid kind of ran away from Secret Empire a bit to kind of give us like a classic do-gooder, apple pie eating Captain America. This is not that. This is not the apple pie American loving Captain America. Actually, you know what? It kind of still is. That's what I'm going to probably bring up here. Coates does a pretty interesting job with this issue. Because what we get here at the beginning, we get this Hydra faction, right? So we have this Hydra faction, and they're going in after the fall of Hydra, and they're getting dismantled, basically in Russia. They're going to Russia, and there's a woman there, and they're trying to shoot at her, but it doesn't work. And their whole entire fortress gets demolished by someone who turns out to be one of the members of the X-Men, a woman named Selene. Mutant, pretty much. And forget what her mutant title is, though. And, she takes out all these Hydra agents pretty easily. And we did later on after like they're taken out, we cut back, and you remember the events of the free comic book day issue, we all remember that Nuke is back. Nuke had tried to attack a rally. He was arguing, and Captain America pretty much came in to try to stop him. And that's kind of like a continuation of that. It's Captain America coming in to kind of stop these Nuke clones, pretty much. And while he's doing it, he's telling a story about like what happened in the Secret Empire. He's telling a story about what the papers had said and what it meant to be and what it meant when Hydra took over and what happened afterwards and what was believed, what was said, what was thought about. It's very interesting, and we just kind of like think that like what kind of Captain America kind of believes in. Like, it's this idea of the American dream, pretty much, and what the American dream stands for in this country, even when like everything else in America is kind of like falling apart, falling to pieces. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting, and Coates gives a very good voice to Steve Rogers. Like, you definitely can read this issue and you can feel like you really are reading Steve Rogers. You're not reading Coates writing Steve Rogers, No, you're reading Captain America. You're reading a book about Captain America as Steve Rogers, as he's talking about all these things. I'm talking about the dream, talking about America pretty much, and just how everything is kind of falling apart um, in the world. And he's kind of like talking about like how he hates war, how he doesn't want to kill people, and how like things are different with Bucky and things like that. It's all very interesting stuff that we're dealing with here. But in the rally attack, there was this little boy. And this is where I kind of say, like, Wade stuff really does, I mean, matter. It impacts you in many ways. This young boy, his dad ends up getting shot at during a raid. And then he tried to, like, intervene him. And Steve pretty much goes and finds the young boy. And he tells him to be brave. Be brave for his dad. And it's this really nice moment between the young boy and Steve. And he says, and not just for him, young man, but for me too, for all of us, for your country. And you get this great, beautiful panel right here with Captain America standing over like all these people and all these medical cars that are in the area. As we see like how like crazy like our country is, and he's telling him to like you have to keep being brave, you have to keep standing up, and then he kind of gets back to his inner monologue. And this was probably one of the most powerful inner monologue in the book, as he says these words. Pay attention. It's a good speech, but there are still losses. What speech is there for a mother who lost her 2 daughters? What words can explain how our government allowed this? How the killers bear the flag of our government, the same flag as me. And that was just those words alone. And this is what kind of cool about what Coach is doing here. I mean, how his writing style has improved so much. Before, he would have to write like pages and pages and pages of dialogue or like exposition to kind of get his point across. And just with those few words, just those little small amount of words right there, he said so much about like how can a person kind of believe in a country that allows such horrendous acts to take place? How can a person believe in a country that has so much death and has so much destruction, has so much of a history of violence and terrible things that can happen in it? And it's a really interesting historic concept, and I really enjoyed that aspect. I really enjoyed that scene, and that seeing the young boy and the scene with Captain America telling him these things. It's really interesting. And one thing I really enjoy and really like really it just makes you think. That's one thing that I love about this book. This book really makes you think about the world that we live in, about in a very interesting way. In the Secret Empire, as much as I enjoyed myself enjoy Secret Empire, at the end of the day, that was Hydra Cap. That wasn't really Captain America. Yes, he was wearing Captain America's face. That would made it more compelling. And to know that, like, hey, this guy, like, he looks like Captain America, even if he's like a Hydra agent, even though he's evil. But this is a purely a Captain America story, but using the theme of Secret Empire as kind of like this backdrop to say something, and it's very interesting. And it really shows like kind of like how Coates has kind of grown as a writer, and how his political his way of writing political stories has like changed and like evolved, and how much stronger it is now. So throughout this thing, he's talking to like Thaddeus Ross, he's talking to General Ross. And then he's like, and Ross kind of like telling him like all the things that were going on in the protest. and trying to figure out what they're going to do now, what they're going to do going forward. You know, something kind of about like how Shield has fallen and things like that. And so a lot of things that are going on right now in the country, and you know, Steve is kind of like trying to figure out what to do. He's talking to Sharon about it, like a bit about it as well, and which was he has this really interesting conversation with Sharon, who we know like has gone through a lot through Secret Empire with Hydra Cap, and how she was locked up by him, and like and and even Steve has to wonder himself, like how does Sharon really feel about me now? How like even though I'm back, even though I'm me, Sharon, how can she really ever trust me? And he even has this little conversation, this line here where he says, "I believe in Sharon, I really do. But that isn't the problem. The problem is the world I've come back to, one that Hydra didn't just conquer, but broke." And we get kind of this whole thing with this organization who we still know a lot about, the Power Elite, and they pretty much captured one of these Hydra men. They pretty much are going to execute him straight up in front of a dozen other people. While this is going on, Captain America is trying to stop this robbery that's going on. And like in the end, this man ends up getting killed. His face ends up getting burned off in front of all these people. While Steve Rogers is stopping this kind of riot from taking place. And it's interesting. It's an interesting like juxtaposition of like Captain America just being Captain America and the world Captain America has kind of come back to. And it's really interesting. I really enjoyed that aspect of the book. So yeah, Coates has had a lot of things to say about the American dream, how his own mixed feelings about the American dream. And I think what this book is really trying to tackle. He's trying to tackle that idea of the dream and what it means to believe in your country. In many ways, like I said before, like this is kind of like this feels like a mix between Nick Spencer's run on Captain America and Mark Waid's run, like taking both of those ideas, this idea of like having a classic Captain America back, having a Captain America that believes in the people again, and is your good American pie-eating Captain America, like when he there with his son, that little boy, he tells that little boy to be brave, and like that is something that a classic Captain America would do, and but then you get that juxtaposition of like the world around him, being in this dismantled place, and all these violence that's going on, all of the horrible things that are going on in the country. And that's really what this book tackles, and it tackles it very well and very effectively. And it's what I really enjoyed about reading this. So, yeah, that's Captain America, issue number 1/705, you guys. Really good read, really amazing read, really interesting read. A lot of things that it says, they are really great and really interesting. But yeah, let me know below what you guys thought about this issue of Captain America, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.